when be your own boss becomes be your own prisoner. Maybe you want to like elaborate a little bit on that. Because recently it's like all about all that hustle culture. You don't want to work under people, you know. It's a never ending
Yes, I
rat
think there's a
race.
lot of like, I mean, because of like accessibility and all this, so everyone, the barrier to entry for like starting your own business and stuff
Yeah.
has been like reduced, right? So basically, you just need the internet to have e-commerce, which basically
Register
like
your
basically
business.
yeah, correct, to register your business,
Yeah.
to sell products. But then, so being your own boss obviously comes with its own caveats, which is like you might end up trapping yourself in a hamster wheel of like having to sustain. For example, like we as artists, right? For example, now
You're your own boss.
yeah, we are our own boss. That means our output determines how much income we are getting. So okay, well, you do have the freedom, but then you have to work hard in order to make a living, right? I think even like with Grab drivers, all this is the same thing.
Yep.
And then for example, let's say if you start to build a company, you start taking on more and more responsibility, even though you're delegating the lower, yeah. And for a long time, I think for a long time you will be like as a startup, like one person has to take on so many roles.
Yeah.
So I think you might end up like trapping yourselves in a cycle of like having to be, for example, like a musician, right? You have to be like a content creator sort of thing.
Everything. You have to be the CEO, chief everything officer.
Exactly. So now you're doing how many jobs, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But is it realistic now in today's climate, right, to don't do all these jobs? You can't just do one job, right, and expect to survive. Or is that a myth?
I think yeah, that's why it's become more competitive lah, and that's why like I would say that there's both like pros and cons lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why everybody wants to start, because everybody wants the freedom. Everybody doesn't want to have to, because I mean of the current I would say like the Gen Z are less are more outspoken. They deal with less bullshit because they have more access to information. So they say they know about things like being underpaid and stuff like that. But our generation, maybe let's say like we're being underpaid, we just like keep quiet. We're like, oh, we are thankful, we're lucky to have a job,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Gen Z, because of like things like TikTok and all this, they find out about like, oh, actually I should be paid this much, but I'm not being paid this much. So this is wrong. Yeah, so actually they learn to voice out, and because they learn that they are being treated incorrectly, they maybe leave their job. They'll be like, if I can't find a good company, then I'll start my own company. But then in the end, this leads to them realizing the issues that their bosses actually are facing also. So
Starting
they
a
end up
company actually worse than working for other people.
exactly.
Most of the
You
time.
might be working 24/7.
Yeah.
But
Which is why they all hikikomori.
I mean, okay.
like this is also like a phenomenon from COVID, right? Like because of the lockdown, and then like Gen Z, most of them started working after the lockdown. So to them it's like time is precious. Like I don't know when am I gonna get trapped again. So hence the freedom. So they rather have the freedom to do their own things and do it 24/7 than to like be stuck in a place
A
and
defense
be forced
mechanism.
to do things. Yeah.
At least it's something they love, right?
Yeah, because like you say they are very vocal, right? So they are doing things voluntarily. And they will just like suck it up lah if they are their own boss, and then they are like, okay, yeah, since I chose it, I'll have to do it then. But if they are getting instruction from someone to do it, right, they will feel like it's very trapped. Yeah.
But do you think eventually it's so difficult that they all give up? Do you see like a big trend of like, you know, Gen Z entrepreneurs, right, that do 1-2 years already, then realize it's too difficult, then they start to go back into the real world?
I think when you reach a certain age, naturally people will want something a lot more stable. Like I also tell myself when I have a kid, I'll just go back to corporate or like something. Like I'm done lah. Because like I need the time for other things. Like I don't have the
Correct.
24/7